This video is aimed to inform about the effects of animal protein versus plant protein on humans. Proteins are nitrogen-containing substances. For proteins to be used by the body, they need to be metabolized into their simplest form, which are called amino acids. There have been 20 amino acids identified that are needed for human growth and metabolism. 12 are termed non-essential, meaning that they can be synthesized by our body and do not need to be consumed in the diet. The remaining amino acids are described as essential, meaning they need to be consumed in our diets. The absence of any of these amino acids will compromise the ability of tissue to grow, be repaired, or be maintained. Proteins from animal sources such as eggs, milk, meat, fish, and poultry provide the highest quality rating of food sources. This is primarily due to the completeness of proteins from these sources, meaning they contain all of the essential amino acids. Diets that rely heavily on animal protein are typically also much higher in compounds that contribute to cardiovascular disease, such as saturated fat and cholesterol, and can also contain unwanted additional hormones and antibiotics, as well as bacteria, parasites, and carcinogens. Animal proteins also have a higher concentration of sulfur-containing amino acids. When these get metabolized, they form acid-generating metabolites, and as a result, a slightly lower physiological pH must be corrected in our system, where buffers like calcium can be drawn from our bones to counter these adverse acid effects. Over a prolonged period of time, this may lead to calcium deficiency in our bodies, and then on to conditions like osteoporosis. After extensive research in the Philippines, Dr. T. Colin Campbell discovered a link between the animal protein casein, which is the main protein found in cow's milk. Casein was found to be an accelerator for the rate at which carcinogen enters liver cells and promotes cancer growth in rats, which he said also applies to humans. He found that they could turn on and turn off cancer by increasing casein into the diet, or by decreasing it, or by replacing it with plant-based protein. The following is a clip of Dr. Campbell speaking about this.
The question as to what I did in our experimental animal studies, actually, with regards to casein, the main protein of cow's milk, and how it related to cancer. I mean, that was some of the early work I got involved in. Came out of the Philippines, because there we were pushing protein for feeding malnourished children. What I saw was those families who consumed the most protein, not many, they seem to have the children who are more likely to get liver cancer. If we use the criteria that is used for determining what's a carcinogen, casein is the most relevant chemical carcinogen ever identified. Make no mistake about it. What we learned along the way, we could turn on and turn off cancer. Turn it on by increasing casein consumption, turn it off by decreasing or replacing it with plant protein.
The primary difference between animal and plant proteins is their amino acid profiles, and how it is those profiles that direct the rates at which the absorbed amino acids are put to use within the body. As we need to eat foods that supply us with the 9 essential amino acids, it can be difficult to source plant-based foods that contain all of these. However, quinoa, buckwheat, soy, chia, and hemp seed are all examples of complete proteins. Studies show that dry bean intake has the potential to decrease serum cholesterol concentrations, improve many aspects of the diabetic state, and provide metabolic benefits that aid in weight control. Soybeans and soy foods potentially have a number of health-promoting effects, including cholesterol reduction, improved vascular health, preserved bone mineral density, and reduction of menopausal symptoms. Soy appears to have salutary effects on renal function, whereas populations consuming high intakes of soy have lower prevalences of certain cancers. With the shift toward a more plant-based diet, dry beans and soy will be potent tools in the treatment and prevention of chronic disease. There are many factors that may influence people and their decisions in consuming animal protein or plant protein. Some elements may include the availability of certain products, the cost, time in preparing meals, and also their own culture and what they have been brought up with. However, evidence does suggest there are more advantages to consuming plant protein over animal protein. Which source will you get your protein from?